Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room where we're going to take a look at the most excellent Egoist from Bytes. So we're going to go through the whole thing, okay, because it's a fantastic app this. You can build whole songs, you can do all sorts of mad crazy stuff with your samples and loops and things. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take a look at the slicer. It's divided into 4 sections here. You have bass and beats, effects section, an Egoist section as well, which you can control other stuff with. So first of all, you're presented with this screen here, and this is where you can load up your own loops and things, or they supply absolutely zillions and zillions. But the very first thing I'm going to do here is, because we're going to do this from scratch, is we're going to hit this. Now I'm going to use a stylus for a lot of this, because like all the other Bytes apps, they cram a lot of stuff onto the screen, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to see and you can't expand this. So and my eyesight's not brilliant, so you may occasionally see my trusty magnifying glass pop into view while I try to see what's on the screen. So so first of all, we open our presets thing here as well, and where it says Bytes A, we're just going to hit that there and scroll down to the bottom. And where it says empty, we're just going to load an empty thing, and we'll just call it empty. Oh no, look, I want to empty it now. Empty. And go down, and empty. So there we go. So we have a completely blank canvas. There's nothing there, there's nothing in the drums, and there's nothing going on in the effects. So completely blank. So first of all, you can import your own samples, and you can do it with audio copy paste, the Retronomes one, but I don't have that on here. So what I do, I don't need to have it on here because of the nature of what I do. I don't need a stack of clips in my clipboard. So first I'm going to just go down there, and I'm going to use one of the actual, go to audio share, sorry. I'm going to just select, any wave will do, this one here. Yeah, and if I go to here, and it'll just say general pasteboard now, because I don't have audio copy too. So I'm just going to put that in the general pasteboard and go back to Egoist here. And where it says this part here, where it says empty, this is the section. This is where you load your own things from. So we can just hit that there, go to audio paste, and just from the general clipboard, and it's done. See how much faster this is. Okay, so that's how you get your own things in. Now Egoist works best with shorter loops. Okay, you can see it's quite a big file in. It's just chopping and sampling at the bottom here. So I'm not going to use that particular one, but what you do is, once you've loaded in your sample, this section here, don't worry about this play button, but this section here, this is where you can just preview your loop, if you like so. And all that will do will just run through the whole thing. But I'm not going to do that now. So we're going to empty it again and go down to the bottom and empty. So I'm going to load in one of their pre-installed loops sort of thing for the slicer. So we'll go to this again. Oh, sorry, no, don't need to worry about that. Go to this one here where you load your sample. And I'm going to go to drums reel here. Now there are absolutely zillions and zillions and zillions of projects in here, and you really don't need to worry about importing your own. You can have a lot of fun just with the stuff that they've included. And it can be as complicated or as simple as you like. Okay, so anyway, so we're going to go to drums reel, and I'm going to load straight rock, this one here. So there it goes. And this is what it sounds like just on its own. Okay, so that's what you have. Now you'll see here these little things here, and these little wands across here. That means that you can try any of these you like, where it's been sliced, and you could adjust the slices by yourself. I'm not going to go into that now because obviously it's going to take ages, but you can select each slice and just audition it by hitting it between it, and there's nothing there that won't play because that little red one there signifies the end of what you've done. So you could move that there, and you can move your slices around. You can randomize your slices, the sensitivity, the pitch, the length there as well, which we're going to get to. So first of all, if I play this now, see what happens is it's just triggering slice 1 across the whole loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little X here, which will clear anything, and set it to play just as it goes. So you see it'll play slice 1, slice 2, and it'll play it in order. So it'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will just play the loop basically, but it will play it at the tempo that Egoist is set at. So that's how you do that. Now, what we can do now is we can choose how we want which slice plays first. So, for instance, if I wanted slice 7 to play first, I just take this little slider here and move it up to slice 7, and slice 7 will then play first. So let's have slice 7 play across. This is just to give you an idea of how this works. Let's have slice 7 play across the first part of our loop. Okay, so that's very, very cool, isn't it? So now what we can do also is, if we wanted to have this play backwards, we could. So we just hit this little arrow that goes that way. And then we can have it play backwards and forwards. And then this will play it here random. Okay, so that's very cool. So let's leave it set forwards. And across the top here we have our little loop set point. So if we set that there, it would just play those bass drums, okay? And then, or vice versa, it will play that as well. So let's leave that there, set across the 16. Now also, while we're here, what we can do is we can choose to mute or unmute various parts of the 16 slices. So let's just mute various ones of those, okay? So that's very cool as well. So now we can switch those back on for carrying on with what we're doing. I think is it on? Yeah, I think it's all on now. Okay, so here we have, so this is pattern 1, and everything else, of course, is empty. And you can program up to 16 patterns, okay, and then you can arrange them into parts and songs as well. So we'll get to that near the end, I suppose. So, for instance, if I wanted to at this point here, we're going to look at this section here now. These are your functions for controlling the copy and paste and how the sample plays and stuff like this. So if I hit this little file icon here, like that, and then I go to pattern 2, and I go paste, it pastes in what I've just done. Okay, so it's now I've got on pattern 1 and pattern 2 is what I've just pasted to. They're exactly the same. If you notice down here that this little keyboard section here, what this lets us do is play each sample keyboard style, see? Well, we don't need to worry about that neither. So we're back on there. So this one here, this little X here will clear what I've just done in this particular section, so then it will just reset it to its normal playing forward sort of thing. The little dice here will randomize the slicing pattern, and you can see here you can set this to play. You can set certain parts of it to play forwards or backwards. So you can set each slice to play backwards like this. So the first 4 slices will be reversed. Okay, so let's just have them set forward again. And if you didn't like what you had, you can just redo up here and it'll go back to what we had. So no, it's got one redo, so it's just redone to where it was. Now, okay, so at this point, these little plus and minus will move in this way, sort of thing. Okay, so see what it sounds like. And again. Moving back. And back. And then it will move the whole thing. It will move them all up and down. Or back down. Now we can just reset it. So what you have now is you can see how that works, so you know what all that does. And just below here you have, well, let's just have a quick look here. This across here you have your pitch, so you can set your pitch like this. Actually, I'll show you what it does it this way. So let's go to pattern 2, which we set before, and let's just move the pitch up 1 semitone. Okay, now let's go back to pattern 1 now, and then we'll jump to pattern 2. You see I've moved this up. Now, so if this was a sequence or notes of guitar, you just transpose the whole thing up a semitone. And of course it remembers, at the moment it's remembering everything I'm doing, okay? So when I save my, if I save my pattern now as a new pattern to start playing with, then you're gonna see everything else. So that's that. The randomized, sorry, sensitivity feature will be the sensitivity of these slices. So if I was to move it, it would change it, but I don't want to do that because I'm doing this. The length, I'll show you. Like a gate. This is the envelope, basic envelope. And the back's out. Okay, you can see what happens there. So you're understanding now how this section works. Now below this you have attack and decay kind of thing, I think. Just let me get my yeah, it's a pitch, it says. Okay, so oh, sorry, yes, that's, yes, pitch. This is different again. So if I was to hold this now and start to move it up, and let's do it so we can hear it more drastically. So that gives you control over your pitch of each individual sample. And here we'll go up and down. And again, for this section here, you have the same controls. You can copy, paste. So you're not limited to copy and pasting the whole thing. You can just do the pattern and then this thing here. And then below, and of course you can move around. So if I hit randomize here on the pitches, you'll see that we can do it again. Move it up one. Okay, clear. So cleared it again. And then below this we have our decay and attack. So for each single slice, you have a control over decay and attack. So let me quickly explain how this works. This would be decay here on the first 4. So let's decay those first 4. Let's play. Let's see. And the same for attack. You see, what we could do is we could attack let's attack every other. Let's attack every other note, every other slice, sort of thing. See what happens there. Okay, so let's just see if we reverse every other note that I've just done. it should kind of play the right way around. Oh, it doesn't. It sounds cool though. Brilliant. So there we go. So we can clear that as well and clear that, and we're back to our basic thing. So there you go, guys. There's sorry. And this last one here is your global over all of these. So we could globally copy all those settings we've just made and paste them into the next pattern. Okay, so that is the slicer. Across the top here, let me just check. Yeah, you have, this is your tempo and your swing. So I'll quickly look at those. Let me just clear everything from there. So if we start to play with our tempo here, you can set your global tempo in the Egoist, by the way, but this is sort of like your quantized tempo. So you get how that works. And then, of course, swing, which will add your groove and shuffle. Now, this is the mixer across the top here for the 3 parts. For the slicer part, the the bass and the drums. Okay. So next section we're gonna. So we've got this going. That's fine. So next time we're gonna go. Let's have a look at the bass and thing. Now, because you understand now how the section works for the other thing, these are exactly the same. Okay, so let's see. We have our first section here. We have bass. So if we just and this is where you set your root note. So if you know what your what your thing is for your key sort of thing, this is where you can work that out. So you've got C. So if we put a note in there, it'll give you this little thing here. So this is basically just going to play you let me just switch slicer off so you can hear what the bass is doing. So one note there, simples. So we'll do another one there, and we'll put one in there. Now, if I wanted to have those two joined up, I want to do that one there. See? And we'll put one in there, but we won't have it a joined up one. We'll just do it a separate one. And what we'll do actually is make this a slide. And we won't hear the slide until we adjust the pitch. So let's... See? And we can go right up on this one. So this is how you build up your bass patterns. And then on the synth itself, you can't automate though any of this, by the way. I think you need to use a controller to do that. So it's a basic synth there. We can scroll through the sounds we get. See? But let's just randomize the whole thing. And let's randomize the notes as well. And then if we wanted to add our slicer back in, we can of course take our pitch up. So okay, so let's just clear that out for now, and clear that one as well. Or we could do global clear. Right, so now let's get to the drums. Okay, so it comes with, you can't import your own drum samples, okay, so you're basically set with what you have. And this is our drum machine here. So let's just start by adding some kick drums, and you only have 3 channels, kick, snare and hi-hat, but hey, So let's just play that. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll switch our slicer off. And don't forget the slicer, really you'd want to put instruments, synths or stuff in the loop sort of thing so you can slice them up. So here we go. So here's our drums going here, very nice. Now you'll see you've got a mixer for all 3 things here, so you can pan. Sorry, that's pitch, not pan. You can't pan by the looks of it. No, it doesn't matter. So anyway, If you hold this here and move it up, you can choose your bass drum, which one you want. And the same with the snare. And there's your mixer. And there's your also, just delete it. So we can turn the volume for that down. And then we can start to add some snare. We can choose a snare. Or we can just choose from the whole kit. So these are the kits that are included here. Let's go to analog kit. Okay. Now for each hit you have a couple of options just by tapping them again. So it's best if we see if we can. Right. We can reduce the volume. See, by hitting it again and then taking it out. Now, randomizing a drum pattern is never a good idea because it just starts to sound silly. So you basically, you're really better off setting up your drum pattern. You're better off setting up your drum pattern properly. So I managed to delete my pattern as well. So let's just load something back in there. In fact, let's load something different back in now so we can hear what we've got. Okay, so. So you can see now that we've added all three. We've got the slice, the thing. So we've got everything going on, and that's how you sort this out. So you can, it works the same, the global and all the rest of it. So if my other original thing should be still there, it is in pattern 2 before I messed it up. And let's just randomize a bit of this. Just put in some nice so now we have our things. So let's go on to our effects now. The effects are incredible. And it's fantastic. And not only are they incredible, it just looks brilliant, doesn't it? So how this works, if anyone's familiar with Effectrix, it's kind of a similar thing that you apply effects on a grid like this as the thing goes along. So let's just quickly, let's just mute. Yeah, let's mute and let's leave the beat going. Now, first of all, I'm going to put the bass in as well. Now the effects are kind of global, you know. If they're switched on here and here, then you're going to hear them. So let's switch the effects on for the bass and the beat. So there we go. So anything I apply now here in this grid will be on the bass and the beat. So let me just, I can't read this at all. So that's so the first one is filter. So we have a filter here. We have a lo-fi effect, we have a nice chorus, we have a great tape stop effect, a delay, a reverb and a looper. Okay, so the first one is filter. So if I apply effects over this first portion of the bar, the first beat, slicer back in. Okay, and then we have our next one is delay, I think. There's your filter and delay. I'm just going to do it so we can hear what's going on here. Reverb. Stop. Looper. Chorus. Now what we can do also is we can randomize that. And of course, like everything else, you can copy, paste, clear, and move the effects sort of forwards or backwards, and then add more and more bits and pieces as well. So there you go, that covers generally the effects. You mess around with them, they're incredible. The graphics are great, they look great. I love this tape stop as well. Moving on now to the final section here. This is the Egoist section. This is where you can make some changes to your thing. You know, you have your tempo there. Let me see. Your clock source, so you can have internal, external, or host start, audio settings, MIDI settings, bounce audio, and share here. So you have a global record sort of thing, so that's cool. So, and then you have a mountain time. So some of these are going to do some drastic things. So let's just play. Switch this as like a limiter. Okay. Now this is a good one. This little clock here, you can swap between clock and note, and this makes quite a difference. It's how your sample is affected. Okay. This one is for ignoring program changes. That would be down to MIDI, direct pattern change, master tune, open manual, fine tune bass, master tune. So you can fine tune the slice. Okay, so if you were slightly out of tune with your loop, you know, you can tune it with this master tune. So there you go. So that's the Egoist section. This is just your kind of general settings, and you've got your limiter sort of thing, which is very, very nice, and your like compressor type thing. So that's that there. And now your song section here now. So doesn't really matter where we are for this. So what you've done, say for instance, you've now built up X amount of patterns and things. So this is our first pattern here, isn't it? which is, let me just switch the slicer back on, and that's the mess that I've just made. So we have 1, 2 patterns and nothing there. So say for instance you've got like a load of patterns built up. If you go to part now, you can choose, so this is part B, part A. You can choose how your pattern plays, how your part plays over X amount of things. So for part A, right, so if we play this, and it'll jump over here, see? Well, let's just set the speed. We can set our, so set our part to 4, so it'll just repeat. So we know that part A is going to go and repeat, but we can set that to go to so you see how that works. You set your part number to play whichever of your program numbers you put in. Now this is just the speed. So you can get some cool effects going. But I'll leave it set on that. Okay. Once you set up your parts, so this is like because for building your song, right? So your part A, I've got part A will play pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 1, pattern 1. Then you can go to song here, and this is where you choose which part plays in order. So it's quite simple, yeah? So part A is going to play for once. Now let's just check here. Now part B, this is part B. So part B is where you then choose different pattern changes. So we could just have part B play no, it's fiddly, right? Okay, it's my fault. I'm just doing it too heavy. I want it to be number 2. Right, part B will just be all the number 2s. So let's go back to part A, and let's just drop that back down to number 1. So we have some sort of logical sequence where it will change after 4 bits. Now let's go to our song now. So we have part A will play first, then part B, then part A again. So if I play song now, now it'll change to the second one. And then back, and then it'll play it back again. And of course, I could extend the range up to 16. So this is where you could build up your complete whole finished track from everything as well. All right, guys, that's the amazingly incredible Egoist. Thanks for sticking with me little glitches and things. But you know, when you do something like this, you know, it's like doing it on the fly. You know, of course, you'd really want to spend a lot longer really digging in and getting everything sorted out. I think you'll agree it's an incredibly great program. I think I've covered pretty much everything there. Yeah, I've set for the MIDI control, obviously, but you can set it up for MIDI. do ever what you like. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. If you like it, visit us at soundteststream.com, where me and Colin can answer any of your questions on different bits and pieces. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, or if you're feeling kind and generous, you could donate something on the channel or join our Patreon program for as little as $1 a month, which really helps us out and keeps us going. All right, guys, I'll see you later.